कि अगर समाज में जहां गरीबी है, वहां जनसंख्या वृद्धि का उसके साथ एक संबंध हो जाता है।
Uttar Pradesh State Law Commission has drafted UP Population Bill 2021. What are the incentives, disincentives, and controversies linked to it? I'm Arun Singh. I explain in the next 3 to 4 minutes. Let's begin with incentives being offered. Those adopting two-child policy shall get soft loan for construction or purchasing a house on nominal rates of interest, rebate on charges for utilities such as water, electricity, house tax, etc., and many other benefits. Now, a public servant who adopts two-child policy by voluntarily undergoing sterilization upon him or herself or spouse will get 2 additional increments during the entire service, subsidy towards purchase of plot or house site, 3% increase in the employer's contribution fund under national pension, free healthcare facility, and insurance coverage to spouse. Now, there are separate incentives for those who adopt one-child policy. Free healthcare facility and insurance coverage to the single child till she or he attains the age of 20 years, free education up to graduation level, preference to single child in government jobs, preference to single child in admission in educational institutions, scholarship for higher studies in case of a girl child, and there are separate benefits for public servants in this policy as well. Now, an important question, when will it come into force? Well, it will come into force after 1 year from its publication in the Gazette. Now, very quickly, let's talk about the disincentives for those who don't adopt two-child policy. Well, they'll be barred from benefit of government-sponsored welfare schemes. Limit of ration card units will be up to 4. There'll be bar on contesting election to local body. There'll be bar on applying to government jobs and also bar on receiving any kind of government subsidy. And now comes the criticism. Samajwadi Party calls it an election propaganda. On the other hand, Congress's Salman Khurshid, as quoted by PTI, asked the state government to tell how many legitimate or illegitimate children its ministers have. Vishw Hindu Parishad in a letter said that it supports all parts except the one-child policy one. They quote China's 1-2-4 phenomenon, which is one child having to take care of 2 parents and 4 grandparents. Further, it points out that the one-child policy is likely to lead to further imbalance between different communities because they are known to respond differently to the incentives and disincentives. Citing examples of Assam and Kerala, letter states that TFR, which is total fertility rate of Hindus, was far below the replacement rate of 2.1, but that of Muslims was 3.16 in Assam and 2.33 in Kerala. So it's a draft bill yet, and as per PTI, suggestions have been invited to make changes to it, and the last date to send those suggestions is July 19. Draft law has been prepared based on the findings of the National Family Health Survey 4. Now lastly, let's discuss one very important and interesting part, which is last year in 2020, Centre in its affidavit to Supreme Court had said India is unequivocally against coercion in family planning. And it goes on to say that couples on average do not want more than 2 children. So that was Centre, where BJP's government is in power last year, and this year UP, where again BJP is in power, is drafting this bill. What happens next? We'll keep a close track on that. I'm Arun Singh. It's a goodbye from my side.